I'm Justine, and this is Joe.
Hi, folks.
Welcome back to Irreplaceable. Today we're talking to Rachel Oliver, and we're going to be discussing project management and other use cases related to productivity with AI. Welcome, Rachel.
Hi, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Joe.
Thanks for having
So can you just kick us off with just a little intro of yourself and what you do?
Sure. I am a personal executive assistant for work. I support the Lauder Professor Emeritus of Wharton Business School. He's a trademark infringement expert in legal cases and on the board of the Philadelphia Museum of Art and Curtis. In my home life, I'm a mother. I'm a single mom, working mom. I really like to hang with my friends and be a part of community in the area. I'm a part of a few groups like Polar Collective. We're a cold water exposure group, and I really, like everyone else, just trying to make a dollar and have a good time.
Awesome. Do you have any opening questions, Joe, for Rachel?
No, so you use AI in your work, your daily work?
I do, yeah. I use AI regularly in my job. With Jerry, I am a jack of all trades. As an executive assistant, I have to manage banking and travel and all of his correspondence. I am a paralegal for his legal reports. So I really do it all there. I work in his home, and sometimes I am stacking books and cataloging art and cleaning the hot tub filter. And I think similarly to AI, AI is an assistant, and I use it to help write emails. I use it to help create documents. I use it to find information online. I use it to create workflow, to create outlines, to structure my daily tasks. I use it for work. I use it for work every day. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I was really fascinated by this idea of AI being the assistant to the assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really curious about the ways in which you catalog all your different personal and professional projects using AI.
Yeah, absolutely. So my version, I use ChatGPT as the version that I work with daily as of now. And I plan to be integrating with some agentic models and learning that as well. But my chat that I've created, I have everything categorized and project out, so my workflow is concise and streamlined. I have personal items, I have work items, I have family items. I separate organizations that I'm a part of, and that helps me to structure what's inside of my chat. I can search for it easily, and I find that my chatbot gets to know me a little bit better when it knows these separate areas, and it feels a lot smoother to work with that way.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that. So I don't, sometimes I'll use projects, but usually I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes the chat will bring up recommendations from something that's totally irrelevant based on it. So do you find doing the project thing, it sort of keeps everything?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if I want to refer back to something that I know I've worked on in the past, I can just pull up the folder and it's right there and it's categorized nicely for me, and it'll be oh yeah, we'll start working on that again, and it does. It remembers it better than this long chain of, do you remember when we were working on that thing I told you about? It goes right back to, it's more intuitive, I find. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you use projects?
I actually don't use projects,
Really?
But I think after tonight I might start doing
I'm shocked.
that. Yeah.
I instinctivly did it because I'm an assistant. I was I need to organize this. I need to folder it up.
Yeah. And it's kind of it's I guess if you have projects, it's a way to manage those projects.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm all about putting things in a folder. You give me an option to categorize it and I'm there. Yeah.
When it comes to project management, do you follow any particular methodology, like a waterfall, agile, scrum, things like that, or is it just depending on the project?
Yeah, so I work singularly. My boss and I don't work with any project management software. We communicate through email because I correspond in his email. So that's where our work lives, unfortunately. And a lot of it is handwritten. My boss, like a lot of older executives, don't know how to use ChatGPT. So they need somebody who does and who can structure their workflow like an executive assistant, like my executive assistant. And when I'm able to use ChatGPT to then now filter what comes to me, like I filter it by priority. It's very personal what I do. My job isn't like replaceable by a robot. Irreplaceable, yeah.
So I think you had mentioned when we were setting up about being specific with prompts and not trying to redo them as you go and through the chats. And what's that experience like?
Yeah, so in order to utilize ChatGPT effectively at work so that it doesn't waste my time and actually gives me more time, is how I've found to use ChatGPT in a functional way. Like I said, I categorize my workflow, and I'm also just very quick with it, to be quite honest. It's like the 80-20 rule. ChatGPT is very good, typically on a first prompt, and so when I find if I'm like fairly specific, I tell it what I want. Hey, prepare this email, and I usually give it a draft along with it, right? Like prepare this email to this person about this thing. I want to sound like this, and I want it to come off across like this, like very specific, and then I'll put a colon next to it, and I'll say, hey, Bob, I need the fireplace is broken and whatever, because I'm not a fireplace specialist and I don't know how to talk to these people. So sometimes it's easier, that was just a silly example, but what I found is if I need to tweak a bunch of things, if I put in a simple prompt, I'm like write an email to the fireplace guy for a repair, it's gonna give me something crazy. But if I'm specific about it and I then I'll get a pretty decent result. And if I have to tweak it a bunch of times, it just gets worse and worse. So that's how I use it, and it's 80% there. I'll tweak it a little. I was telling you, sometimes I'll even piecemeal it, right? I'll take a sentence out here, and I'll say, okay, or a paragraph, and I'll say just tweak this part, and then I'll put it back in because I don't want it to compromise the whole document. Which a lot of times, like I said, if you prompt it well. On the first try, it does give pretty accurate work.
Yeah.
But if you have to fiddle with it,
yeah, that would be.
It doesn't like that. It gets a little confused.
Yeah, and that's actually in the project management world, managing the requirements in the very beginning is like just the part that's always missed, and whoever you're working for, they never give you all the details of what they want.
Right.
And they think of it after you've got the work going.
Yeah. A lot of it too. It's I have a question. I get a request, and then I have a question to follow up. So.
Yeah. So you mentioned about how you use it to save time and that it gives you back time, and it's interesting because I've actually experienced the opposite of it. Is the more that I'm producing with it, I get asked for more quicker and faster. So it's actually added more to my workflow. So how do you manage this? Because that's where I want to go.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. I've been on call, so it's really amazing. I'm really grateful I get the privilege of working also with AI and hearing my boss talk about AI, because the industry is booming and there's a lot of people doing really cool things, and I've heard some calls of some things happening, and I hear the same thing as people are going through this. It's the questions after the questions after the questions. My prompt doesn't ask me a lot of questions. I think when I ask it something, I'm like, that's enough. I tell it I want short and sweet answers.
Yeah.
I tell it I want me to give it direct. I tell it I don't have time for this. I'm very, very mean to it, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time for this. Give it to me faster. And it does.
Yeah.
And it does.
Yeah, and its feelings don't get hurt either.
I don't care about its feelings. For instance, I wanted to create this full moon ritual for my friend's baby shower. Okay, she was having a baby shower on a full moon, and I was like, oh, this will be a fun idea. I got this idea in my head, and I was like, ChatGPT is going to help me with it. So I gave it, I said I want this full moon ritual, and it did. It asked me some questions, but it gave me deliverables right away. And I picked out what deliverable I wanted. It gave me choices. It said, okay, which way do you want to go? And I said, okay, I'll pick out this choice. And it gave me the deliverable, and then it asked me some more questions, but I got results and I got answers, and I was done with the project. It just gives me answers.
So it sounds like you just have really good boundaries. That's what
I
I'm
don't know.
hearing.
Should we check? Should we check?
ask him? Yeah.
Should we find out?
I think a lot of people, when you were talking about teaching your boss about it, and you have this way of using it where it's, most people will just, it gives it too many answers, and they just give up. But you're like, no, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's kind of like, you have to treat it like a subordinate to get it to do what you really want it to do.
So perhaps I am able to have a different relationship with it because I'm an executive assistant. Like, I'm very familiar with giving product to my boss and asking questions and him just being like, figure it out. So maybe that's why. Or maybe just because I'm so limited on time and have such a short patience with it. But I definitely do treat it like my assistant, and like I've definitely talked to it like I've been spoken to before.
But you get better results doing it like that than just, say someone with less experience or, perhaps someone older. Sorry.
Well, you're younger than my boss. Well, I don't know. So when I'm saying he doesn't use it, you're obviously, using it. But yeah, I find when it will ask me questions, I have said to it before, you need to stop asking me, give me something to work on. Yeah, I've been very, very clear with it.
Okay. What about with your boss? So you are instructing him on how to use AI.
Yes.
How much hand-holding does he need versus how much you're gonna take on yourself and be like, let me take care of that?
Yeah, so my boss strictly uses ChatGPT for research. That's all he uses it for. My boss is a professor, so it's in his bones. He likes that it's research all in one place. He can ask it a question and it'll give him an answer with all of the research for it. So he'll ask questions that are related to his legal cases. He'll also ask it to write poems for his wife. Because he's not a poet. He also, he believes it's a tool for creativity. He just wrote a book on it, Creativity in the Age of AI. When I show him how to use it, I'm explaining to him how I'm using it for our workspace. Because at this point, my boss is 86 years old. He's not taking any prompting courses. He's an expert already. And so I'm in charge of that, and I tell him what we do. But I do, follow, like, walk him through it and explain to him how I'm using it. And because of his job, I'm able, I have access to all these other really cool people who are also doing really cool things. So I can, like I said, I've heard what they're doing, and I've been able to kind of slip that into my everyday use. I've been able to teach my friends too, and just like you guys, telling you guys here now, I've been talking about how I've been using it to other people also.
I was thinking about what you were saying when you have to be really specific in the beginning again. I did a little project yesterday where I took a bunch of different elements and I tried to feed it all in. And the first result was good, but there were some real flaws in it. and I'm like, okay, well this part's wrong and this part's wrong, and then like the further I went with it, the worse it got. So
Yeah, I have that experience too.
yeah, maybe I need to like yell at it more.
Well, I don't know how much yelling at it will give it like quality work. It just gives work.
I've always found that maybe it's okay to start out with something bad and raw and like, it's not bad at cleaning stuff up. Like,
I can do it
I had to,
instead of just starting over.
yeah, one of the earlier things that I did was, I had a customer when I was doing project management, like say that I did he said, you did these 4 things badly on my project. And they were not true, and I had documented proof, and I took screenshots of refuting every one of the things that he did. And, because I knew it could blow up if, And then I typed the body of the email, and I'm like, maybe I need to run this through, because, it was customer facing. And I said, is this nice enough? And then I plugged in what I wrote, and it said, it's a little direct, Joe. And then it made it more customer experience friendly for me. And I'm like, okay, well that's good, because I was like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, here's the evidence. But it diplomatized.
I love
for me.
ChatGPT for edits.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Every time. For edits on like a simple thing, it does a great job. It does a great job. Like if you pump it in, like I said, once you pump it in and it's a quick email or if it's a short paragraph, it does a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're writing a long document or a paragraph and you really want to put, some personality into it, then it tends to get a little muddy,
Right. I
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a weird. It's interesting. Like some things you're like, yeah, this is working, this is great, and then it's like, nope. It's just the hand holding. You still have to very much hold the hand of AI.
And you were taking some courses, and it's pretty common now to use AI in those situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I mean, there's parameters. Like I went to school in the age of AI, and there are parameters set up by the school that, like, this you have.
They do. Yes. Yes,
Right.
they do. They run it through a whole AI
Right.
filter, and then it populates it, and it tells you. I mean, you
Yeah.
see your report at the end, and it's like.
Yeah. Well, we were permitted to use it.
To a degree, I think some courses it's different. I guess it depends.
Yeah, I think that they should be allowing students to use it in some way, because they're going to get into the real world where you are using it, and they're not going to know how to use it properly.
I know, that's a tough one. Like still like teaching critical thinking to younger people while using AI.
Right. Yeah, using it as a tool, not
In
a
education.
crutch.
Well, speaking on creativity in the age of AI, I'm wondering what are some of the ways that you use it creatively, like the full moon.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, I have these separate projects for work and for life. I use it for travel. I've had it create itineraries for me. I've told it to give me a 3-day, it basically helped plan my trip to Atlanta with my daughter, our trip to New York. I'm like, tell me, like, give me a place that a 12-year-old would like to go shopping for purses. Give me an anime store that a 12-year-old would like to go shopping for purses. Give me, tell me what are the great places in Atlanta. I was like, oh, there's a city pass. I was like, get the city pass. They told me all about things for Atlanta. I was like, great. So I just like took all of its information and booked a trip. You have to be careful. Sometimes the businesses are closed or the addresses are wrong. And so just double check. It's work, as always.
Yeah.
But, I'll be in New York with my 11-year-old on the trip that I planned, and something's not going right because, things do. And I'm like, okay, ChatGPT, where is there a place local by, whatever. Or, Google Maps sometimes, but will help. But sometimes just a little question, it's helpful because it's integrated in the map and it's integrated. So I use it that way sometimes as well. And that's fun. I've used it to like create flyers for parties that I've thrown. I've used it to create like full moon rituals. I've used it to create checklists for my daughter so that she does her stuff. That doesn't work. But the checklist comes out great.
So what about, you mentioned critical thinking. So what do you do to preserve your critical thinking and or enhance it with AI?
Like I said, AI is a lot of hand holding, and I don't, I do use it to like kind of build ideas because it can be conversational, right? It's conversational. You're asking it questions, it's answering you, and when I have conversations with it and it bounces back with, other things, it's like, oh yeah, it gives me ideas. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. That's cool. Great. Let's go this way. So it is also an educator, right? Like it's a researcher, it's Google, it's got information behind it, it's the internet. So you type stuff in and it's going to give you accurate information. It's going to tell you things based on research and based on, studies that it finds. And I've clicked on a lot of the links because I've used it in legal reports to find research. And the links go to reports. You have to click on them, you have to verify that they're there. But it's good to have and it's really helpful. Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about treating it like subordinate, and like one of the ways I like to do it is almost like giving it like a vague prompt so that it does give me maybe 10 options and then I get to choose from it or mash them together.
Yeah.
That's in the way that like I feel like I'm using my critical thinking, my human judgment to be like, no, that's not a good one. That's not gonna work. But
I love
it
doing
expands
that.
The thinking.
Yeah, especially if it's like I've like not a lot of time. Just write an email, like just do this for me really quickly, and it pumps it out, give me a couple options, and that does like sparks the tool, it sparks the flame. It's definitely like giving more, it's like having 4 brains.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a great way to, leverage your own thoughts.
And collaborate. Yeah. Yeah, especially, that's another really great topic. Like, as a personal executive assistant, I'm the only one in my office. I'm HR director, I'm tech support, I'm the accountant, I'm everything, the travel agent. So it's my support, it's my assistant. It answers my questions, it doesn't. It makes my life easier. It takes work, takes work away from me. Because it, answers questions that I need.
That's an interesting statement, is that it takes work away. People are worried that it's gonna take jobs away. But I think what you're talking about is it takes away this kind of mind-numbing drudgery or paperwork type work that, like, does anyone really want to do that anyway?
Well, don't get me wrong, I still have to sit on the phone with ADT when they've messed up my bill, okay? So it's not going to take away everything.
Right.
But
you would think it would, and I always find...
Maybe one day.
I find that
Maybe one day I don't have to
shortcoming...
sit on the phone.
Yeah.
On hold.
I find that I've had jobs where I'm like, this should be automated. Like, why do I have to do this? And it's like... And some of it's like, government bureaucracy kind of paperwork stuff that seems like this is from like the 1980s or something. Like, fill out this form. Like, do you really still do
and
this?
Snail mail it in.
Yeah, like this should all be automated by now. And like, I feel like that's where if they want the world to function better, they should point AI at that kind
Executive
of stuff.
tasks.
Yeah.
I would love to get rid of all those, but again, that would eliminate my job. I would have to handhold AI to do it.
Yeah.
There's only so much I guess you can learn in a lifetime.
Well, if we're getting into dark topics, I'd like to close because you had some really interesting perspectives on sort of your healthy fear of AI and the cybersecurity concerns that you have. I'd just love to hear a little more about that.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what helps me with my boundary too, of being so mean to it. Yeah, I have like a still very real, like, healthy fear, I believe, of like AI. Like, I'm not sure where it's going. I don't know where it came from. Like we've let this beast out, and just like technology, like we can't put it back in, and it's rolling, and like we don't know where it's gonna end up, and I like to keep my distance, so it's my work buddy, and that's it. But it helps me in my personal tasks. I don't know, I haven't gained like a spiritual attachment to it. I don't believe. I don't feel that type of way. Would I be sad if it were to go away? 100%. Yeah. But I'm not like, I think my healthy boundary really keeps me safe from it, and I think that's where my healthy fear is. Yeah.
Deserve a name.
I picked a name out for it. I asked it to tell me its name. I was like, "What's your name?" It was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "No, tell me." And I didn't like it. It gave me like Alfred, and I was like, "Well, isn't that already an assistant from a movie or something?" And so I just call it Chat. I just call him Chat. It's like Chad, but with a T.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. But I like Chat. So,
What is one piece of advice you'd like to send off our viewers, listeners, with, based on your experience with the pros and cons? of
yeah.
AI?
I don't know, like dive in, start using it. Like try it out. Ask it for a trip suggestion, ask it for a recipe, ask it to, like, I don't know, fix your calendar, write an email, I don't know. Ask it to do something for you, just try using it, and I don't know, maybe it'll make your life easier too.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for talking to
Thanks
us
for
today.
having me. Yeah.
Thanks, and that's Irreplaceable. Thanks to Rachel Oliver for spending some time with us today. I'm Joe Bonaparte.
I'm Justine.
And remember, humans are irreplaceable.
Justine and Joe in the house. Irreplaceable.